Before I say anything, I want to start this the same way I always do. It is okay to have your own opinion. I'm not here to tell you what to think. I want you to listen to this album. I want you to sit with it and decide if it connects with you or not. These are just my thoughts, and I'm coming at this as someone who doesn't speak Spanish fluently, which means I had to meet this music where it was, in its emotions, in its culture, in the sound itself. Good. Let's talk about this album. Bad Bunny's Debí Tirar Más Fotos translates to I should have taken more photos, which should tell you everything that you need to know, and if you don't understand the cultural significance of those chairs, I really don't think you'd appreciate this album. This doesn't sound like a project that was intended to climb the billboards. It feels more like a memory that's being replayed. It understands that these moments are significant. It may not have known it then, but time moves fast and these moments are important. From the first stretch of songs on this album, you feel as though that the production is intentionally restrained. They don't really blossom into these club-like hits that we're used to from Bad Bunny. Not to say that they are bad at all, because it's really not the case. Again, as someone who isn't fluent in Spanish, I felt myself listening to more of how Bad Bunny says things rather than what he's actually saying. His voice often sounds like he's hovering in between singing and speaking, more like he's narrating his own story rather than performing it. Even if you pay attention to the way that he titles some of his tracks, you get the sense as an English speaker of what he was trying to do. But when I did stop to actually read the translation, so what stood out to me was more than just heartbreak and nostalgia. It was someone who is culturally and emotionally aware. He embraces his past. He treats it as though it's something heavy, as though it's something that shaped him, something that he carries with him even as the fame and success pulls him further away from the people and places that once made him who he was. And that's where this album feels very human, because although we're missing these persons and places, you're also missing a version of yourself that you can't go back to. What I respect most about this album is that it isn't marketed towards everyone. If you connect with this music, you will find it. At no point in this album you see Bad Bunny stopping to explain Puerto Rican references or trying to explain the cultural significance of anything that he's speaking about. If you connect with this music, you'll connect with it. There is no need to explain for a wider audience. For Spanish-speaking listeners, especially those who share similar cultural backgrounds, I'm sure this feels like home. It feels like inside jokes. It feels like familiar streets. For someone like me, I understand this album. I may not be the intended audience for it, but a lot of it resonates with me. And I would guess for the mainstream audience, this would feel more like an invitation, where they aren't necessarily the center of this story. That's really rare to see in mainstream music. And there's something really powerful about an artist that's globally recognized who's refusing to flatten their identity to make it more convenient. That being said, there's songs on this album that are very high energy and makes you want to dance. Like at parts you're gonna be crying on this album, and other parts you're gonna be vibing. And he's also taking time to educate you on what's happening in Hawaii, about the gentrification and how that can also happen to Puerto Rico. And all of this is really why this album stands out so much. It is so much different to what you would expect from Bad Bunny, from his discography so far, but this was just really incredible and shows you why he deserved that Grammy. At a point in his career where he could continue chasing hits and chasing numbers, he decided to make something that's valuable, and it's a risk that paid off. And when you're finished listening to this album, you're left in tears, because all you're thinking about is all of these memories that you have that are just memories now. You no longer have them, and that feeling is really gut-wrenching. You don't have to understand every word for you to understand the feelings of this album. Bad Bunny kind of makes the argument that emotions travel further than language, that these moments that we probably didn't think was significant, things that we didn't document, tend to matter most later on. At this point in my review, I would usually give the highlights of tracks that I really love, but this album has no skips. It is perfect from beginning to end. This album is a 10. But yeah, those are my thoughts. You can let me know yours, whether you agree. I really doubt you'll disagree, but yeah, links to the album will be in the description. Thank you very much for listening. Go listen to this album. It deserves everything that it got. I love this album very much. Thank you for watching. Bye.